KBL, Khatzumoto's Book List, August 2008. Written by Khatzumoto, posted in September of 2008. Update: the people have spoken. In addition to Amazon.jp links, alternate purchase links to Yes Asia have been added where available. These may be useful to those outside of Japan, since Yes Asia offers free worldwide shipping. Sometimes they mark up prices so that it evens out, but other times it's a better deal for overseas customers. As always, the proof shall be in your do-the-math pudding. Don't you just hate how so many magazines these days date themselves like 3 years in the future? I remember when I lived in the UK in the late 1990s, PC World magazine would put out its January 2015 issue in like 1997. Exaggeration is humorous. So, I'm going to buck the trend, darn it. This is information collected in the past, so it's going to be backdated, and there's nothing you can do to stop me, except voice your opinion in the comments. Okay, here we go. Gintama. Format: manga, serialized paperback. Author: Sorachi Hideaki. Furigana: yes. Genre: period action comedy sci-fi. Veracity: fiction. Color: black and white. Illustrations: it's a manga, champ. Notes: multi-volume series, publication ongoing, a classic in the making. Khatsumoto's comments: the Tokugawa era. 20 years have passed since the shogunate opened diplomatic contacts with the extraterrestrials and passed the edict, abolishing swords and, by extension, the samurai. But one samurai still holds out against the Roman invaders. Ah, forget it. You just have to read it. Describing the setup of Gintama in the hope of shedding light on its coolness is kind of like explaining Super Mario Bros. As Italian plumbers jumping on mushrooms, or Cowboy Bebop as space bounty hunters with jazz music. It really doesn't quite do it justice. Anyway, both the manga and the anime own. It really is funny stuff, loaded with characters you'll wish existed for real, biting wit and parodic references to virtually every other manga, anime, drama, or variety show ever produced in Japan. Plenty of which you'll know. Trick, Shonen Jump itself, and etc. Great jokes, great writing, great way to learn Japanese. Gintama will have you in stitches. While you're at it, get the anime as well, for listening practice. Well, actually just for plain enjoyment, but you know. 2 organic clay pigeons, 1 free-range stone. Tama is still in serialization, 25 volumes and counting, but unlike Dragon, we own your Ball Z, or 1 is the number of lifetimes you'll spend buying this piece of... They're actually worth getting. Nihon no Ronten ni Senhachi, The Issues for Japan, 2008. Format: annual essay/paper collection, paperback. Editor: various artists. Furigana: none. Genre: politics, economics, science, technology. Veracity: nonfiction. Color: black and white. Illustrations: picture of every author, plus tables and diagrams on some, but by no means all articles. Khatsumoto's comments: I hate the news. Hate the news. Vapid, inaccurate, biased sensationalism prepared by people who don't know what they're talking about, but are acting as if they do. I stopped watching the news and reading newspapers a long time ago, but I still want to know what's going on in the world. As soon as I saw this handsome paperback tome, it's nearly 1,000 pages long, at a train station, I knew I had to have it. Filled with essays, papers, written by experts in their respective fields, often having wildly differing opinions on the same issue, minus simplistic crossfire-style posturing for the sake of posturing. People who actually know what they're talking about debate, discuss, and dissect in commercial, spin, and relatively speaking, brainwashing-free black and white text. No one pretending to be impartial, no one pretending to simply be giving an account of the facts. It's got all the issues that are in daily newspapers: increasing pet ownership, relations with BRICs, the aging population, without the fluff and facade. This collection also boasts a number of papers by people who wrote the book on subject X, be it immigration or parasite singles. Side note, the author bios and references to the other works are perfect for follow-up. For the perspective of a learner, I'd say you'd do just as well getting a previous year's issue if the price is right. Chuuou Kouron. Format: monthly magazine, paperback. Author: various artists. Furigana: none. Genre: politics, economics, science, technology. Veracity: nonfiction. Color: black and white. Illustrations: some, but not that many. Khatsumoto's comments: another favorite of mine. Think of it as a monthly version of Nihon no Ronten, which is an annual collection. As you might expect from a more frequently published book, it's slightly more prone to knee-jerky, alarmist, faddish discussions than Ronten, but overall, still a worthy read. You might consider getting this one from your library if you can. Failing that, from a learner's perspective, it might be worth buying a couple of issues, if only because it's more portable than the 800-plus pager that is Ronten. Nande jikan gaないんだ? Yaritai koto ga dekiru jikan nenshutsu法. Why don't I have any time? How to make the time to do what you want. Format: single book, paperback. Author: Kanno Yuki. Furigana: none. Genre: personal development, personal organization. veracity, non-fiction, color, black and white, illustrations, some funny little scribbly manga, but not that many. Khatzumoto's comments, one of my favorite personal development books. I've read and reread this one many times, and it's been on heavy rotation in my man bag for weeks at a time. Kanno firmly locates the source of a good portion of time poverty in simple untidiness, and seems to kindly, gently, and humorously, you'll love her style, and the way she suddenly breaks into new paragraphs to emphasize something, a tool I copied by the way, lead you to a saner, tidier lifestyle without the OCD or type A, guilt-based, Victorian appeals to morality. Cleanliness is next to godliness, you freaking wogs, that are typically associated with getting things in order. She makes you want to be neat, she makes you want to read her book, and makes it feel good. No one's scolding you. One of the most powerful and deceptively simple in a "didn't everyone learn this as children?" way pieces of advice she gives is this. Dashitara shimao. If you take it out, put it back. It sounds almost stupid when you think about it, but how many adults do you know that have yet to master this? That mother of yours, hee. Doko e iku no? Tomo dachi ni ai ni. Where are you going? To see my friend. Format: picture storybook, ehon, hardcover. Author: Iwamura Kazuo and Eric Carl. Furigana: all hiragana but no kanji, sad face. Genre: children's book. Veracity: fiction. Color: yes. Illustrations: tons. It's a picture book. Khatsumoto's comments: wow, writing these is tiring. Yeah, so this is a straight up ehon, a children's picture book. Yeah, it looks like it's not actually a mere translation, but in fact, a bilingual joint collabo venture between Iwamura and Carl. Sweet. I read this book back in the day. The repetition was really cool and firmly planted some really useful structures, grammar, in my mind. It's so simple, in fact, that I never found it necessary to look at the English. Everything is clear from context. The lack of kanji kind of sucks hard for RTKers like you and me, and it's what kept me and Ehon from seriously dating, but oh well. You know, to tell you the truth, I really wanted to write something like this, except with kanji. Dick and Jane was an attempt at that, but I feel like it got too complicated. Oh yeah, this was supposed to be about someone else's book. Anyway, it's a good book. Buy or borrow it. Manga Kim Jong-Il Nyumon, a manga introduction to Kim Jong-Il. Format: manga, 2-volume series. This is only the first book. Paperback. Author: Ri Yujo Di Ewa translation. Furigana: none, sadly. Genre: politics, history, biography. Veracity: non-fiction. Kana. Color: black and white. Illustrations: it's a manga, champ. Khatsumoto's comments: due to the nature of the subject matter and information sources involved, you can never be sure that this kind of thing is entirely true. Early in the book, they attempt to insinuate that Kim Jong-Il killed his little brother when they were like 6 years old, and they keep drawing Kim Il-soon with this like massive, hideous goiter action going on. I mean, at least try to fake some grounding in reality, son. This is the sort of thing that is later revealed to have been reverse propaganda. Kind of like the borderline fraudulent exaggeration of Soviet Russia capability by, let's just say, people who hang out in 5-sided buildings. Either way, it's an enjoyable read and potentially a fascinating history lesson. Sounds like a lot of drama went down on that Korean peninsula. Yeah, Asia, Toyota, sushi. Samurai Champloo, Volume 1 and Volume 2. Format: manga, 2-book series, paperback. Author: Gotsubo Masaru. Furigana: yes, yes! Genre: hip-hop samurai action. Veracity: fiction. Color: black and white. Illustrations: manga? Khatsumoto's comments: you already know that Samurai Champloo is one of the best anime ever. Now, enjoy the manga. There were only 2 volumes produced, but they have much of the anachronistic humor and sweeping, breathless action of the original. Check it out, yo! Check it out, y'all. Crayon Shinchan Nupin Yonsei ando Angel Hen. Crayon Shinchan Nupin the 4th's Angels Edition. Format: manga, paperback. Author: Usui Yoshito. Furigana: yes. Genre: humor. Veracity: fiction. Color: black and white. Illustrations: manga? Khatsumoto's comments: Crayon Shinchan is a living legend, naughty humor for the peoples, and it's especially good for kanji files. Imagine an irreverent, full kanji, Furigana children's book. Since we tend to skew ourselves towards reading abstract material if only because 1, that's what much of the adult world is about, and 2, kanji gives us that power. But words like unko and oshiko are just as much a part of Japanese as daikyo kin kyosei sapota. So, Crayon Shinchan is like Shrek, in that it's ostensibly for children, but the humor is really operating at 2 levels. It's the kind of things parents purport to purchase for their progeny, but actually end up reading on their own. The regular crayon is great to begin with. and this one owns even more. It's a special edition, one of several, are there more? I don't know, in which our titular hero keeps his toddler age and personality, but is taken out of his usual family context and put into spoof fantasy worlds, loosely based on cultural icons like Lupin III, Charlie's Angels, and Jackie Chan movies. In one episode, Drunken Fist Kung Fu turns into Somniferous Fist Kung Fu, whereby Shinchan becomes more powerful the sleepier he gets. Yeah, there are tons of puns, and you'll enjoy them all. And another thing, the humor is all basically self-contained, such that knowledge of the regular Crayon Shinchan is not a prerequisite. You'll be laughing out loud in public, causing yourself both joy and embarrassment. Keitai Ban. Shiko wa genjitsu ka suru. Think and Grow Rich. Format, single book, paperback. Author, Napoleon Hill, author. Tanaka Takaaki, translator. Furigana, no. Genre, pre-New Age / hippie, good, old-fashioned personal development, hee. Veracity, non-fiction. Color, black and white. Illustrations, none. Khatzumoto's comments. Yeah, this book needs no introduction, really. It's one of the classics of the PD genre. Unlike classics in other fields, though, people actually read this one, of their own free will. Translator Tanaka had a bad habit of splitting this thing up into multiple volumes, print and grow rich, and adding, I kid you not, more footnotes than actual book. A single tome becomes a freaking trilogy, but I'm not better. Friggin'... Anyway, I'm mostly putting this thing up because it combines everything in one nice paperback as nature intended, and I've had a hardish time finding it, so here, I give to you. Thank me later. Side note, there's also a diagram-based Japanese version of TAGR that's longer on pictures, but kind of shallow and short on content. The most interesting thing about it is that it has this sort of pedigree of PD speakers and authors, showing who was whose direct sensei or disciple. Also, Hill didn't actually write it. It's more of a Cliff Notes prepared by the Asia Pacific HQ of the Hill Foundation. So yeah, the version you most likely want is the main one previously discussed. Okay, that's it. Feel free to share your own recommendations or requests for the kinds of books you'd like evaluated for next time. I figure a lot of people are wanting Keigo and programming books, and I haven't put those up here yet, so that might be the focus of the next edition of KBL. Hey, sounds like kibble. Okay, see you next time.